That looks like we're live. All right, let's turn that off because we're live. Before we get started, Taylor, could you let me know in the comments if both the Facebook and the YouTube stream are going, and then we'll get started. Takes a little minute. Live on both. Live on YouTube. Just waiting for Facebook. I reckon Facebook will catch up. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to live stream. We've done a few of these lately. Tonight we are talking about the new podcast. We're launching it tonight with a bit of fanfare to give it a bit of a send-off, because for us, there's been a lot of work put into it, and hopefully lots of value for you guys. I'm just waiting for my producer, waiting on Facebook. Facebook, you're too slow. I imagine it will just catch back up, or Facebook's not working. If it doesn't work, Taylor, just mention the link and we'll figure out Facebook later on. Yeah, so let's talk about what we're doing tonight. We're here to launch the podcast. Okay, it's been behind the scenes for a long time for us, and I guess we'll get Malcolm, the developer. Malcolm, go, throw the switch. I'm sure he's typing furiously. I'll show you what we've done in a second once it's all live. But yeah, so we'll do a bit of Q&A at the end like we normally do. So throw any questions about the podcast, about anything. We do live Q&A at the end, it's fun. Post those questions in the comments and Taylor will gather them up and I'll read them out at the end. So what is this podcast? You know what a podcast is. It is, for me, what this podcast purpose was kind of the same sort of style that I've done for my courses, I hope. Okay, what I try and project in those is a little bit of demystifying some of the things that seem very glamorous or exciting, or I don't know, like insider secrets for design. So that's what I want to do with the podcast. So I have already started interviewing people in a format where it's a little bit more conversational, because I feel like, especially in a unprepped, okay, a lot of the speakers really want questions first. It's not what I want to do. What I want to do is surprise them with questions, because it's those really honest answers that they haven't got time to prep and research to get really, like beautiful blog post answers. Those are the things that I think are really valuable when you're new. Seeing the kind of behind the scenes, more of like professionals talking to each other without some of the hype. So that's kind of what we're doing. It's called the Bring Your Own Laptop Insiders Podcast. Okay, it is exclusive for bringyourownlaptop.com members. Okay, so it's not one of those podcasts, it's a weird podcast where you can only watch it if you're a member at the site. Okay, so you can't go and search public podcasts. Even if you are a member, okay, you have to go via the website. So I'll show you how to do that in a second as well. So it's one of those nice perks of being part of Bring Your Own Laptop. Thank you. So let's talk about the first podcast. So the first podcast is with Philip VanDusen. And it's all about branding, which is quite convenient now because we just finished the challenge about logo design. Okay, so we're going to be talking about logo design and branding with him. Let me play you a quick little snippet from the first one, just like a little bite size to get a sense of what we're doing. Where are we?
It's all about input equals output. You have to constantly feed your mind, your eyes, your soul with creative inspiration, because that's what's going to, go into you and eventually be machinated through in your mind and in your soul and in your hands and in your mouse and come out as great design work. So I'm a big proponent of exposing yourself to broad ranges of inspiration, which is one of the reasons why I do that trend video every year, but also why I spend a lot of time gathering inspiration, looking at trend websites, reading trend documents, reading agency reports on trend, because that's how you stay up on things. And the other thing about that is that you can translate those things into your client work, obviously, but in communicating and staying up on those things, you can also have something to talk about with your clients, which makes you feel very relevant and which is really, really important.
Ask me how I stop playing a video. Finish. Cancel. go back to this one. Okay, I can't work out how to stop the video, so I'm going to small version of me.
It's all about input equals output.
Aha. I'll get better at it slowly. So that's a little snippet of the kind of things we talked about Philip. Man, Philip was like, the other point of this podcast is for me to ask the questions that I get vague on, or at least, I'm not sure about. Like, I'm not a full-time anything. I am quite a generalist. And of late, I've got right into this whole software training. So, like, it is amazingly interesting to talk to these people from the source. I get to kind of, ask them all the questions on behalf of you guys, but really it's for myself. And I think Philip's even watching. I see a little birdie's telling me here. Hi, Philip. Okay, Philip is a friend of Bring Your Own Laptops for a long time, and like for me, my go-to branding guru. So check out that first podcast. Let's have a little look. Before we actually look at how to kind of do it, it's not that hard. You can do it on the website, but let's talk about big thanks. First of all, big thanks to Taylor Coman, who was basically heading this project for us. I did the interviews, but everything else, was managed by Taylor Coman. So thank you for that. Thank you for Victoria Barradale, who's our designer / UX designer, who did all the kind of artwork for the series, and also the kind of page and the flow and all the testing. Speaking of testing, thank you all the VIP squad. Okay, the VIP squad is Bring Your Own Laptop people who put their hand up to be kind of early testers. You get to see stuff early, but you have to share your opinion, and it helps us kind of get this thing a little bit more polished when it comes out. If you are interested in becoming one of the VIP, part of the VIP squad, on Marvin, like the dashboard in Bring Your Own Laptop, down the bottom there, go request a feature, or write to us in the Contact Us page, and we'll put you onto that list. So thank you all the testers, and Malcolm Knott, who developed the whole connection between our podcast, putting it on the site, taking Victoria's kind of designs and bring them to life. Thanks everyone. A lot of pointing. Let's have a look at So the series is like, this first series is 6 podcasts. Okay, so the first one's Philip VanDusen, and that's out right now. Okay, and there'll be one every week for the next 6 weeks, and then I'll start recording the next kind of season. So we've got a bunch of logo and branding and a bunch of portfolio podcasts. Okay, I've talked to a lot of professionals and professional designers and people who help people with portfolios specifically about getting started in our current times, kind of COVID times, and just for newbies who find it hard with our first portfolio. So those are some of the first podcasts I did. Let's have a look. 6 weeks. They'll be announced via the dashboard and via social media, via snippets. You'll see those around, plus emailers if you're a Bring Your Own Laptop member. Let's have a little look at where it ended up and what we ended up doing, and the weirdness that it is to get set up on your mobile phone. Not too weird. So let's switch. Let's go to you. All right, so Bring Your Laptop now has this. Look, podcast. This is hard. I didn't have to show you. Okay, but there's a couple of ways to listen to it. If you are listening to a podcast person via the website, just hit play down here. Okay, no biggie. Okay, and if you are a person who watches it like me, I never listen to podcasts on the website. I listen to them while I'm running, mainly while I'm running. So I like to listen to them on my phone. But because this is exclusive, like only kind of members of Bring Your Own Laptop can listen to it, which is really special, okay, and it's a real big perk, but it also means there's a little bit of setup, not much. So just down here, click on Add to My Podcast Player. It'll send you an email, okay, and just open that email on your phone and follow the instructions. That's how you get it onto your phone and your player. Now, this is all very new technology in the world, exclusive podcasts, but it's also kind of new for us trying to do this as well. So if there are any bugs, you're running into any trouble, use down the bottom of the dashboard and Bring Your Own Laptop, there's the report a bug or request a feature. Okay, so I'd love your feedback for a couple of things. Technology-wise, is it working? Can you get it on your phone? How hard was it? Is it a deal breaker? Like these exclusive things, the technology behind that is quite new, so let us know if you run into trouble. Stephen, head of Student Zen, will help you out. And also for me personally, as an interviewer, I'm really comfortable as the talker. I like talking, okay? I'm happy doing this. This is my natural habitat. blabbering on. It's harder with a camera. It's easier with students live. So I like my live events, but getting used to this. What I'm not as good as is being an interviewer, okay? Interviewing people. Okay, so have a listen, and I'd really like your feedback, soften your blows, okay? But let me know what you think could be better in terms of the way I've been doing it. I've done a little bit of podcasting before, but I do know my early days, I interrupted everybody. It was pretty bad. But I'm getting better, but I know I want to get better, and I'd love your feedback. So let's talk about, all the rest of them will appear down the bottom here once there's more. Okay, and like I said, there'll be one every week, and Taylor will be sending out messages letting you know when those are ready. Let's switch back to Dan's face. There we go. All right, so where it is, how to use it, feedback, good or bad. I want to get better at this formula. That is it for my kind of introduction to the podcasts. So it's out now. Go to the Bring Your Own Laptop website. Philip VanDusen, thanks buddy, is the first one. Started off with a bang. And also thanks to everybody in the team who is kind of part of getting this ready. It all looks like me out the front, but really there's so much going on behind the scenes that make all this happen. So we'll do Q&A now. So if you've got some questions about the podcast, about Philip, okay, or just anything in general. This always spirals into a general Q&A about design, and I'm happy for that as well. So throw in your questions and I'll start answering in a second. But first of all, let's celebrate the launch of the podcast. A lot of work for us and the team. I hope you enjoy it. Ready? Pause noise. And party noise. Bike horn. All right, celebration over. That will be coming out as a nice regular thing now. Let's do Q&A. So let's have a little look. What do we got? So, Unpuzzle. Dan, you are one of the best teachers I've ever had. Thanks a lot. You are a blessing. You're very welcome, Unpuzzle. Glad I could help. Derek Graham. Podcast, email, link, all worked a charm, Dan, seamlessly. That is really good to know. We did some testing, but the VIP squad's not huge. But we're all very happy how it went. But good to know that worked. And you're jumping in there and doing it. Okay, the next one is Dusen. Can I listen to your podcast on Apple Podcast app? Yes. Okay. This new technology of like exclusive podcasts only to members works on like half the players. Okay, with one, like most of the players except for one big exception. So Apple iTunes works perfect. Okay. The one that I use the most is the new Google podcast, works perfectly. The one it doesn't work with, actually two that it doesn't work with, is at the moment is Spotify. Don't say Google when your phone's close. It's asking me to tell it the weather or something. So Spotify, and it's not working with Amazon. What's the talkie thing? Alexa, that's it. At the moment, just because this is a new technology, it's really weird for us as well to discover it. So it'll be coming. Another question from Thunderstorm. Hey, do you like Coldplay? Yes, maybe, not really. Okay. Not many questions tonight. All right, I'm going to hang around for a little bit longer. We'll wrap it up in a minute. But if there's no more questions, I will go. This doesn't all happen. Oh, Dan, how can I become Adobe certified? Good question. In terms of certification, there's a couple of levels you can go for. So ACA, ACE, ACI. ACA is the lowest of the option, and that's the one I recommend most people go for. It's Adobe Certified Associate, Adobe Certified Expert, Adobe Certified Instructor. I'm an expert and an instructor, and it's a pain in the bum. You've got to do exams every year, and the exams are hard. I fail them quite often and have to resit because the exams are set up in a way to, like, you're meant to be an expert, like know everything, and it's hard, right? Like, I'm really good at most of them, and it's still really hard. And I don't feel if I had an ACA, which is kind of like general understanding, like a good user, it'll ask you questions of you that are really good, to prove that you're good at the software. But do you need to know under what settings panel can you change the spot proofing from CMYK to Gamma 04, like questions like that, and you're like, oh. I don't know. And it's hard. So I often have to sit them twice. But the ACA, Adobe Certified Associate, is a good one. And I'm not sure anybody, like if you wanted to add it to your CV, I'm not sure anybody would know the difference between Adobe Certified Associate and Expert. I do, not many people do. Instructor is a little bit even higher. You need an adult learning qualification. So you have to be an expert and get the qualification to get that one. So that's what I've done. Another really interesting thing that's happening is we are moving into certificates for bring your own laptop. Okay, so we're just kind of building that in the background now. So I don't want to give away too much, but there's going to be some certification from us, okay, as Adobe Certified Training Centers for the courses that you've done, okay, with us. Don't want to go too much into it because there's a lot of back and forth trying to make this thing work. Unpuzzle, if we are part of the VIP thing, do we get to test new stuff on the website? You totally do. So VIP squad, let me know in the notes there, Taylor, I can't remember how you get on the VIP squad other than just messaging us. Yeah, I can't remember. So I think she's opened the books a couple of times for it. So yeah, use the contact us form unless I get told otherwise. And yes, you get to test. You would have seen the podcasts already in the podcast player. You would see videos before they come out. One of the cool things is there's a Bring Your Own Laptop show coming, the new episode next week. There's a bunch of you who've already seen it, okay, because you're part of the VIP testing squad. It just means that you've got to give us feedback. That's what we're looking for before it goes out to the big wide world. Erica, such an awesome perk for the membership. So excited to listen. I'm really happy as well. It's a hard thing to know, podcasts are generally free, but what I'm trying to do is, trying to build a bit of internal community and trying to build value inside of Bring Your Own Laptop that, we can all share rather than, I don't want it to be content marketing. I want it to be real, true value for the kinds of people who want to join us and be with Bring Your Own Laptop. Hussam, I'm 31, married. I am in IT and want to change my career to web design. Is it possible from where I start? I've definitely, I feel like 31 might feel old for you now. I'm 40, it feels even older, and I bet you there's a lot of people out there who are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's, the trouble is going to be at 31, you probably have an income at a certain level and a lifestyle based around that income. So switching to careers can be tough, and that's something you need to kind of go in with, talk to your wife and or husband, and talk to them and just find out what the entry-level developer role is going to be, okay, and what schooling might look for you. If you need to go to university, how much is that going to cost? Time off work? Can you do it DIY? Okay, kind of like the Bring Your Own Laptop method. Okay, that's definitely the way, it's the way I want you to do it, but it's not right for everybody. Figure out, do you have time? And also talking to your significant other about how much time, hey, I'm not sure if you have kids or not, but that would be a conversation I'd have to have now with my wife. Hey, I want to change careers. I'm gonna have to spend 3 nights a week and half of Sunday to get over the hump of knowing nothing about web development tool. Because you are in IT, it's not going to be a huge, big jump, but definitely can do it. It's easier when you're younger, not because your brain's any more plastic, or it's because there are some kind of you've got some structure around what you currently do. Philip VanDusen, congratulations on on launching the podcast. He knows how much work it is. Thanks, bro. You're totally right. Philip will know how long ago I interviewed him as well. He's he probably forgotten half the interview because it takes a long time to get going. Thanks, man. It looks easy. It is on paper until you actually start doing it. Another thing is check out Philip VanDusen's podcast. We're very aligned, in terms of the people we serve, the kinds of career we do. So go check out his podcast. I'm assuming it's called Brand Masters, something like that. Philip VanDusen, check him out. You won't miss it. Check out his podcast as well. I'm even on there. Okay, so go check that out. Kathleen, can a portfolio ever be too diverse? It depends on the job interview. What you need to do is whenever you're sending off, you need to be clear. Mine would be if I was going for a job now, I'd be looking for a very generic job. I enjoy moving from print to web to video, to UX. I enjoy that, so I'd make sure that my portfolio was very diverse. So yes, I would say, no, I'd say it can't be too diverse. But if I'm applying for a UX job, I'm axing my, all the magazines I've done, I'm axing all of that stuff, or at least moving it to a part of my website or part of my portfolio that's not very, they can dig in. What they want to see is the thing they're hiring for and kind of what you've actually done in that industry. Okay, so I would say depends on what you're looking to do. If you're looking for anything, any old thing, I think it's hard to be any old thing. I think, I think you might have to be a little bit more specific about which application you can do, okay, and send off. And yeah, that's my answer. Rotel, what's your favorite Adobe software? Ooh, geez, I don't want to tell you. It differs. Like, I love what I can create with video, with Premiere and After Effects. I love the end product. I'm like, man, that is good. But those software are clunky and really hard to learn. If you've any of you done my Premiere Pro courses or my After Effects courses, it's not like Photoshop, where Photoshop is daunting, but once you get the hang of it, yeah, once you know the basics, you've got the fundamentals, you can do lots of stuff. Whereas Premiere Pro and After Effects, there's so much technology and frame rates and codecs, and it's hard. So it's hard to love Premiere Pro, but I love what it makes. Okay, and when I get into web design, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Illustrator, Adobe XD, Illustrator XD, smushed together and had a little baby XD Illustrator. That's my favorite software. Another one, where are we? Radu, hey Dan, how much experience do you need to apply for a junior graphic design position, and what are some good ways to get the experience? You probably need minimum of like 3 really good parts in your portfolio. Okay, minimum, that's pretty small, but like you need at least 3 very defined, a brief, who the client was, what the solution, what problem you're trying to solve, and the solution. Okay, so you probably need about 3 of those, that minimum. So you either have to get friends and family work, you have to get challenges, like Bring Your Own Laptop has design challenges, the next one will be coming up soon, and use those and go overboard, like don't just do the bare minimums, fill that out in terms of portfolios. But other ways to get good experience, yeah, I think challenge is the easy one. You can find lots of fake briefs online. I find doing them with a group, like a Bring Your Own Laptop, it's fun doing it with other people, seeing their other ones and then feeling like, oh yeah, it's, you can kind of bounce ideas off. I find that's a good way. Michael, will you be teaching Krita, please? I don't know what that is. It's Krita. It could be something really important I don't know about. Sometimes that happens. I miss out on some technology and it can make me look bad. Taylor, could you Google that? Tell me what kind of area it's in. Krita, I don't know what that is. Krita? Kurita. Margot, do you think it's better to invest your time in After Effects with Illustrator than in Animate? Depends on your end goal. After Effects is way harder than Animate. If you just need, like, say you're doing some animation for cartoon style stuff, like traditional cartoon, Animate's perfect. Get you exactly what you need to do. But then if you want to start adding special effects and like live action film, then you're going to need After Effects. So think about where you need to be, where you'd like to be in the future, okay, and decide, Animate, perfect for rigging simple characters and maybe doing e-learning, that sort of stuff. After Effects can do that, but it's like driving your Porsche to go get milk. It's overkill for what you need, and the learning curve is a lot harder. Well, there you go. Krita is a professional, free, and open source painting program. It is made by artists that want to see affordable art tools for everyone. That is one of the big critiques of somebody like Adobe. They hold us all over a barrel in terms of, especially professional work. Krita is like, I would totally do that if, that sort of software, if I wasn't in the professional world, because I'm not going to get a job with some of the free stuff. Okay, I can work as a freelancer. Nobody needs to know that I'm not using, I'm probably not doing the name right, but Krita or Canva or what's some of the other ones? GIMP. Like there's other, creative software that are out there, and they're not better or worse. Definitely Adobe are more expansive. They're getting paid to do it, and they're funding it, and it's been around a long time. But if I want a job, I'm going to stick in this world, and so no, probably not. Sorry. Rotal, crazy question. I love crazy questions. What books would you take with you to a desert island? Books. I'm big on two kinds. I read a lot of Jack Reacher fiction stuff. Okay, Lee Child, that's my brain. Don't think about anything, just listen to Jack Reacher novels. And in terms of other books, I probably want to take magazines. Can I swap my book for magazines? And then I'd just get a couple of car magazines, a couple of design magazines, and a couple of probably just design and car magazines. And the gadgets one, that gadget magazine. I like to watch one of those a year, see what I've missed. Pascal, hey Dan, like the podcast linked to the Bring Your Laptop podcast platform lessons. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad everyone's appreciating the extra value that we're bringing at Bring Your Laptop. Kathleen, hi Dan, one more question. Can we earn certificates after we have completed the classes, and how do we prove that if they come out later? We'll work out a way of doing that. Yeah, so don't hold off doing your courses. We'll work out a way. There'll definitely be a way. There might be something you have to submit, okay, but you won't have to rewatch the videos or anything like that. Or, we'll make it doable and easy for those who want to do it. Derek, do you plan on bringing out high-res shortcut sheets for the latest versions of Illustrator and Photoshop that I can print out? The existing ones are pretty low-res and blurry when printed on my printer. You're right, we haven't done that for a while. We should go do that. Mental note, we will do that. That's a great idea. Mohammed, hello Dan, is there any new courses coming up or updates? I'm recording right now the next Bring Your Laptop show. I'm doing a 3-part series for YouTube. So that one, it's about color, okay, how to choose color for a logo. That one I'm recording right today. Okay, you will see me in this exact getup in the show because I was recording that today. And as soon as that's done, I'll be recording the next course. I can't tell you what it is yet because I'm torn. Everyone wants everything. Yes, definitely another course coming. It takes me about 3 or 4 weeks to record the thing because they're pretty in-depth if you've done any of them. It's probably a month or 2 away, but I'll start that. I'm going to do one every quarter is my goal. Okay, so I'll get one finished before the end of March, and then I'll start another one and try and do one per quarter because they do take so long to make, and I'm trying to squeeze in this other stuff like podcasts and the Bring Your Laptop show as well. Challenges, there's lots to do. Michael, Dan, do you have any plans to create a course on virtual augmented reality, Adobe Aero? So want somebody to ask that. Yes, Michael, I really want to. I love it so much. What I'll probably do is make a mini course and tie it to a challenge, so that we can, because I know about it, they've made it accessible, I've played with it, I've seen all the demos, been to all the Adobe stuff, it's great. I'd like to get to know it myself to give everybody a kind of a good starting in it, and then set a challenge where you all can do something together so we can all learn the ins and outs. And then hopefully later on, as it becomes more applicable to the world of design, I'll learn the software better and I'll make a more mature class. Tony. Hey Dan, I recently joined Bring Your Laptop and I absolutely love your classes. Really fun teaching style and make me laugh. Can't wait to listen to the podcast. Thanks, Tony. It's great to see people joining up at Bring Your Laptop and all the great feedback. Do let me know what you think of the podcast in comparison to some of the courses. It's a different format, obviously, but let me know. Paulo Cafaro, can a beginner like me ask a question? I'm so intimidated. You did, and I answered it. Yes, you can. The nice thing about Bring Your Laptop, if you are a member of either bringyourlaptop.com or the Facebook group, okay, if you're not part of that, go check it out. It's the Bring Your Own Laptop Online Facebook group. Go check that. It's free. You'll get a sense, if you're new to us and to design, you'll get a sense of that's a great place to ask the dumb questions because there are no dumb questions with us. You know, we're all getting started here. There's more people that are more advanced, and that's fine as well. But everyone's very humble with their opinion and their feedback, so don't be stressed. All right, that jumped. All right, Video School Online. That means it's Phil Ebener. How's the family and the new studio? New studio is great. I built a studio above my garage, so I'm above my garage now. If you've seen the first Bring Your Own Laptop show, you'll see the inside of my garage. And how's the family? We're going nuts. We're locked down since like December, and the kids are at home, and we love each other, but we're all just kind of like coexisting. It's very tense. So I'm hoping that school will go back soon, so we can all be like, I don't know. We want the kids to go back to school. They want to go back to school. Kids are great though. They're healthy. Nobody's got the COVID, and that's it. Chuck, woohoo! Graduate of the Essentials and Advanced Photoshop course on Udemy. I'll pay for the Photoshop design and tips and tricks. Awesome. Great to have you along, Chuck. Good to doing both of them as well. It's amazing how many people go on for Essentials straight onto Advanced. That was a tough one making those. Like, you know, I assumed at the beginning it was going to be, people that were really good would do the Advanced, and the Essentials people would do the Essentials. But it's amazing how people that eventually finish the Essentials have enough skill and confidence. Nobody seems to bat an eyelid to go through to the Advanced, so that's pretty cool. If you are doing the Essentials and haven't done the Advanced because you think, oh, I'm not advanced, like I've called it Advanced, but really we started Intermediate and get you to Advanced, if you know what I mean. There you go. Mark Evans, hey Dan, what would you say were the minimum requirements for junior web developer job? I'm probably not the best person to ask. I am kind of not a developer, more of a web designer. So, my level of skill kind of ends at basic hacking together JavaScript. So I'm not the right person to ask that question. I could tell you, but honestly, I'm not the best person for that one. Hi Cam, can you share some of your insights on selling digital products, like process and how you stick to making it? So my video courses are considered digital products, right? I sell those through a bunch of places. You've probably seen them on Udemy or Skillshare or bringyourownlaptop.com. And what was the question? Some insights on selling them. My biggest one insight, the short version is you need to do a lot of it, okay? I know maybe 2 people in the industry who've like banged out a course and it done really well. It's like, I've made like nearly 30 courses now. Phil Ebener, who's watching at the moment, who I learned a lot of my skills from, he's made like 100 now. He's a crazy man. So it's going to be like, I found by the time I got to video 10, I found my voice. I found, the kinds of courses to make. I got a bit of a process, but that was a long time. That was like video 10, course number 10 was like a year or 2 into it. So you got to put in the hard yards, and there's no magic bullet, but time doing it, like most things. Yeah, that's my SS. I've been working in design for print for 20 years for local companies. What do you think is a good move into this digital age? I'm old. Probably the best option at the moment is UX, because you've got other things. It depends on what your passion is. If you really would love to like video, it's becoming very big at the moment. Anybody can use a really simple camera with simple microphone and with a bit of software skill achieve quite high results. If that feels good for you. But for me, if I was in your position, I'd go down the UX route, okay? Because you can take a lot of those skills of print. It feels a bit, it feels pretty, daunting to move into another field. But what you'll find is you're not going to go be a mechanic or a baker or a builder. You will find a lot of your skills will parlay into UX design or video design really well. Okay, you might be scared. There's a vocabulary to learn. There's a lot to learn, but it's not going to be as daunting as, I feel like if you're older, it feels like the young kids are doing it and they're going to see me as an imposter. But what you'll find is You still have to start with kind of junior role as a UX designer. You still be a newbie UX designer, but you'll be able to articulate yourself way better than anybody new to it that's young, okay? Because you'll have all the understanding of font and color and composition, okay? You'll have to update your vocabulary. You'll have to know kind of what's expected, and you'll have to, probably the biggest new thing for you, not the design, okay? Go to the XD course that I've got. That one gets you kind of, at least gives you a feel for it all. The big thing is kind of UX research, and I find that quite exciting. It's more psychology than design, and a lot of design can be linked to psychology, so I think that's what I'd do. Thunderstorm, and is After Effects used in Marvel movies for VFX? No idea. Gets used a lot. There are other bigger products. After Effects is used quite heavily in the motion graphics worlds, especially for cinema stuff, but there are other ones like Maya's for 3D, After Effects does a tiny bit, and I'm thinking 3D Studio Max, no, I'm thinking Avid, can't even think of them all. Yes. Premiere Pro is one of the other ones where it's not used as much. Premiere and Adobe are trying really hard for the big studios to use Premiere Pro. The small to medium ones all use it, okay, but the bigger ones are still using other kind of more legacy specialized for that kind of area. And you'll notice Premiere Pro, I don't know if they buddy up or pay. They might even pay to be part of it because it's a great tool and it can do it. The Spider-Man, what was the Spider-Man movie? The kind of cartoony, half cartoony one. That was done all in Premiere Pro, and they advertised the fact that, a lot of that out one. What's the other one? There's another couple that they try and do, so I don't know. Vapna, bring your laptop, love your hat. Yeah. LA, I don't know why. I bought it in LA. Yeah. I like it because it's blue and white. Yeah, I don't know. Haru, what do you think of Photoshop for animation? It's terrible. It can do it. But the problem is it's really system demanding. It does it fine. There's nothing wrong with the technology, but it's too slow for animation. So you can connect Photoshop with After Effects by exporting PSDs, okay, and animate them, rig them up in After Effects, or Adobe Animate. It doesn't matter really at the end of the day. If I was going to doing it, no, because I already know Adobe Animate, Photoshop, and After Effects, I'd go do it in After Effects, okay, because it's way easier. Or Character Animator, depending on the kind of animation you're doing. Character Animator is really good if you've got no After Effects. You've got to be quite technical. It's a very technical looking program, and it is technical. Whereas Character Animator from Adobe is pretty drag and drop. There's no scripting. It's all very easy. Have a look at the kinds of things you can build there. It's a very different kind of animation though. Definitely not 3D, but it's quite simple. But that might work for you. AJ Payne, what's the most fundamental resource over the years as a designer? For me, most fundamental resource? I don't know. I'm thinking internet, but everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I love that there's this proliferation of, design was the secret thing that I went into university and learned, and just lately it's been turned on its head. And that's what I'm trying to do, is turn it on its head and hear people like Philip VanDusen. He's an amazing career, brand strategist, doing something different. His business 20 years ago would have only been accessible to people who could pay. But now people like Philip have worked out a different model of getting paid and probably a lot more joy from his work. Okay, I'm speaking for you, Philip, but it's amazing that those people are sharing with us. You just see the things that on YouTube show, personalities on YouTube, just seeing what they do kind of gives me a bit more all right, I'm not the only one doing these things. And that's really what I try and do for you guys. Is I know when I saw other people sharing behind the scenes, I talked about Phil Ebner about creating online courses. He was very generous about sharing it on. You're like, oh, okay, he showed you how it can happen, and I feel like the mystique is, gone, and I feel like it's all doable and accessible. So I'm always hunting for people like Phil and Philip to follow and see that, yeah, it's not just me. There's no like imposter syndrome. Well, it lessens the imposter syndrome. So the internet is the fundamental resource. And the personalities on there. That's it. Panania. Hi Dan, any plans for a course on Adobe Captivate? I did loads of training on Captivate for a while. No, probably not. It's very niche, Adobe Captivate. If you've never heard of it, it's kind of an e-learning creation project. I know it pretty well. I used to know it pretty well. And it's probably not high on the list now because it's a little bit niche for what I was doing. It's, sorry. Rezenga, is there any intermediate tutorial before going on to advanced tutorial on Photoshop? Ended beginner level on your course a few days ago, sir, and it was amazing. No, there's no intermediate. I did consider that. Think advanced is where you end up, not where you start. Okay, so you do the essentials and then you start the advanced. And I only start the advanced courses based on the knowledge from essentials. I record them straight after each other normally. Sorry, Premiere Pro. I do essentials and then straight afterwards I do advanced. So I know where your head's at there. So if you enjoyed it and you got to the end of essentials and your brain didn't explode, you are ready for all the advanced courses. Okay, Dovidas. Hey, any plans on releasing Big Hero Laptop podcast on Spotify? Is that something you wish you knew? And what is something you wish you knew at 26? It can't go on Spotify, not because we can't technology-wise. It's Spotify aren't allowing it on that particular way of working on that. So them and Amazon's Alexa just won't allow us. They've said they're not going to allow private podcasts at the moment. It's so new. I bet you loads of you haven't ever heard of a private podcast that is actually kind of like we've got to give them email addresses. You get a code. All sorts of stuff happens in the background. I bet you they'll do it though. Feels like the future. Riptol, how many? Oh, I missed one. Is there anything you wish you knew at 26? If I was going to talk to my 26-year-old self, it would be that all the things that are really hard that you're going through, that you wish you could skip, is all part of it. You can't get to 40 and be, not saying I'm good, but you can't get to 40 and be confident without being 26 and a little bit worried and nervous and have a bit of imposter syndrome. It's just part of it. There's no shortcut. Rutulu, how many colored glasses do you have? 13, I think. Tangent, hello Dan, I completed Illustrator Essentials. Can I do the advanced course now from the beginning and the full course? Because I think some topics are already in the essential course maybe. Illustrator is one of those weird ones where I covered a couple of things twice, mainly because I felt when I first started making those courses that there'd be a lot of people who only did advanced, and I didn't want to miss out on any of the like little nuggets that were easy, that were really good. So just skip across. I'd say 97% of the course is all new stuff. There's maybe 2 or 3 videos that cover the exact same thing, different way, but it's just use it as like a way to kind of get yourself back up, redo the course, or redo those particular videos. But no, do it again. It covers a little bit of the same, just so that the people that only did advanced, and there are a few, didn't miss out on those little tasty treats. Tangent, Daniel, I've done that one. Grace, any tips for learning to work on a Wacom tablet and integrating it with your design process? Yeah, that was I've gone through phases of only using a Wacom, and only for the last maybe 2 years, I've only used the touchpad. It's really sad. And then about a week ago, got this out because I was doing some work in a program that you can do some cool zoomy stuff with the wheel. So I got it out, and now I'm using that. In terms of Wacom, I guess you need to get an official Wacom, don't get a cheap knockoff, okay? In terms of integrating it, look for those products like Photoshop has a Adobe Illustrator specifically for the iPad, rather than using it like a mouse, which works, but the real value comes from a Wacom is when you're using the products that really embrace the pencil and pen tool. So have a look at some of the, it's not gonna work, is it? Because I'm using now, I've got a iPad Pro with the pencil, So I really like drawing on the screen, but in terms of integrating the Wacom into your design, whenever I've had a Wacom tablet, okay, I've always had it plus a mouse. As soon as I got into the design program, shuffle everything along and used it, okay, and I got really amazing at it, but there's just some tasks is terrible at, okay, so that was my thing. I've still got mine over there in the drawer. It just takes up too much bench space when I'm not doing design, so there you go. Cindy Pancake. Dan, I love your fit. I don't know what that means. Thank you though. Hat, fit. Anyway, Steve, hey Dan, advice for where new freelancers can find work. Probably the best place is Freelancers. Maybe try some agency work for like small term contracts, and you might find clients and people that you can work with. In terms of freelance work, friends and family is always the easiest, and it's getting yourself out there in terms of like, it's hard to go to your Facebook page and explain, kind of like, hey, I'm looking for work. It's hard to do, but those are the ways that you will end up finding, your dad's uncle's brother needs a website, or your dad's cousin's brother's mother needs a logo. Those are ways, friends and families. Then it's building up your LinkedIn network, okay, with the right kinds of people, the kind of work you do, trying to find other people in the industry like you, as well as potential clients that way, and make sure you have a just really nicely polished both portfolio and LinkedIn profile, okay, and also that's also it. That's my advice. Outfit. It's probably a typo from the gang. Love your outfit. This is pretty cool. Hey, look, this Susie is the what do you want to call it? Virologist? Is that a word? The person who's she's the government advisor to the New Zealand government about COVID and what the plans and what they should do. And New Zealand's been very COVID free, so there's a bit of a listen to Susie going on around the place. Shirt's designed by Carol Green, a friend of mine. Go check it out. She's cool. There's a couple of different colors as well if you can't hack the yellow and pink. Tangem. What are we at? What's our time? All right, we'll go to the hour. There was no questions, now there's lots. More than I can answer, so I will get through them. Got another 13 minutes, why not? Okay. Tangem, can you also please help us make good portfolio for marketplaces like Fiverr, including tips for that in your courses? I really love your courses. I watched all your tutorials, amazing teaching style, lots of love. Cool, yeah. Specifically for Fiverr. Yeah, Fiverr's a strange place, isn't it? There's a lot of you need to keep your reviews up. You need to make sure you're responding to every single request for when people put jobs up, and just make sure you got obviously quality work and lots of great reviews. So reaching out to anybody that's given you work or your first job, and just plead with them, keep emailing. Can you give me a nice review? Safety, environment, health. You know who you are. I want to link table of contents to all doc topics in InDesign. What is it process? What is it called? Ooh, there's a way of doing it. InDesign Advanced. It's a glossary, right? Is that what you want? It's not called, yeah, it's not. I know you want it for the table of contents. It's hyperlinks, links. I'm doing a terrible job at understanding it. There's a way of doing it. I think it's called anchors and hyperlinks. Oh, man. Caught me out there. I don't know what it is. Paola, if you're a Bring Your Own Laptop member, drop it in the ask an expert. Okay, Mohammed in there is an InDesign expert. He'll tell you what it is. If you're not a Bring Your Laptop member, try the Facebook group, Bring Your Laptop Online. Paola, almost done hosting my first website. Awesome. Which other tutorial should I follow next? I love your fun and clear style. If you've just done the web coding one, it's moving to something like UX, get the kind of design side skills. Otherwise, you probably need to go further past my courses, which are quite front end kind of design, web design, and move into development. Pick a language, JavaScript for front end, or if you want to go to the back end, where you want to, which is more exciting, kind of the PHP route and what's the flavor at the moment, or app, okay, deciding what kind of app language you want to learn, but you might have to leave me for that because that's something that I'm not great at. But if you want to go down to the design side, definitely jump into Adobe XD. Periana, back. Hey Dan, any plans to do a course on Adobe Captivate? Talked about that one. Raphael, what can you tell us about 2020 new trend, glass morphism? Glass morphism. That's a question for Philip VanDusen. Go check out Philip's trends in 2021 to watch out for. It's on YouTube. It's a free one. I don't know glass morphism. I get asked a few of these and they always catch me out, and then I Google them afterwards and then I know, but you know. The best design magazine. Oh, man, best design magazine. I have to go to my drawer and figure out ones. Can't tell you, or gone blank on them. Oh, can't remember. Terrible answer. Sebastian, I love your content on Udemy. I learned so much. I started with Photoshop Beginner and soon I'm starting the advanced course. Which one should I do next? Illustrator or InDesign? Depends. If you are going into the world, if you've done Photoshop, probably the next step is Illustrator. If you're going down the more graphic design kind of logo route, if you're going to go down the more like desktop publishing, you want to do magazines or flyers or posters, or maybe not posters, but books and layout type stuff, then go InDesign. Oh, my notes jumping around. Be embellished. Dan, excited for the launch? Me too. What do you suggest for those who don't have the RAM or ability to use Premiere Pro and After Effects to be able to edit YouTube videos? It's always going to be a problem for you if you don't have the RAM for those video programs. They're super hungry. Check out if you are a member at bringyourlaptop.com, just skip to the video that says how to make Premiere Pro go fast. I think I've done it for After Effects as well. And to see if you can like back your machine off enough that it will work, but you're going to need lots of RAM and lots of video RAM to make those work. Otherwise, you'll have to stick to, on a Mac, use iMovie. If you're on a PC, I have no idea. Do they have a Movie Maker? Does that still exist? You might have to go something designed maybe before your software, but video is always not going to be fun if you've got that heavy going machine. You can look at things like proxies. That's another thing. Research the Premiere Pro proxies. Basically, as a way of loading low-res versions into Premiere Pro that you edit, and when you hit render, it goes off, grabs the big versions, and only during there does it kind of like combine them, gets rid of your low versions, and replaces it all with all the effects you've done. That might be something you can do. Dan, would you consider doing a Premiere Pro course? I might be starting that in a week or two, or might be another one. So yes, it's coming. Gus, hi, just thanks for your courses. Thank you very much. Making my way through InDesign at the moment. You're welcome, Gus. Enjoy InDesign. Great program. Annie, I'm struggling using InDesign with my new iMac M1 chip. Ooh, have you had any experience with this? Any tips? So I was scaredy pants. Like I didn't go down the new, if you don't know, Apple have released new laptops. They're running something called an M1 chip. I'm always reluctant to go full noise into something like that, especially because I know Adobe and I talk to them like the product managers, and they are trying their best to get M1 going for M1, but they're just relying on it running on Rosetta, which is just like a way of faking it until later on before they release that. And InDesign is probably one of the last ones they do because it's not one of their like flagship software. So I don't have anybody. If anybody else has got any tips, leave it in the comments. But no, I don't know how to make the M1 chip InDesign play ball. There's probably going to be some issues until Adobe get around to making proper versions for it. That's why it's not working, because it's trying to like emulate. When I buy an M1 Mac, which I will, with the M1 chip, I'll let everybody know on social medias, and that'll be like my tacit approval, like it's time to do it when enough of the Adobe products come across. Look at red, can do. Oh yeah, one other little tidbit. People have asked about portfolios, and at the moment, and just for Bring Your Own Laptop subscribers, go to Marvin and check the announcements. I'm not sure if it's the first one or the second one. Stephen is accepting portfolio reviews. So if you've got a portfolio that you want to have a look at, okay, I think we're accepting another 10 people at the moment. We're just kind of testing that system. And go there, tell him, explain what you're doing, and he will give you, he'll process a review of your portfolio, which is a super cool service. It's kind of secret, and we're only doing 20 at the moment, so go check that out at the moment. It's on the dashboard under the announcements. Here you go, Ben. Any plans to update part 2 Adobe XD courses, which might include components? Totally. So that's the other one battling for attention for this month. It's update XD and split it into 2-part essentials and advanced. Yeah, it's totally going to be out soonish. It's whether it's the next one or the following one. Antoine, hey Daniel, with technology getting so advanced with these Macs, do you think upgrading iMacs makes a difference? Also, I want to get iMac with 5K Retina. Should I do this or the 4K one just fine? Technology-wise, at the moment, I feel like 3 years is buy a half decent one and every 3 years buy a new one. That's kind of like, that seems to serve me well. It's obviously very expensive, so, that's not gonna be right for everybody. 5K, don't need it. For me, I don't need it. 4K is beautiful and amazing, and you can only really see 4K when it's right next to you can only see a 4K, making it go away sneeze. You can only really see the difference between a 5K and a 4K when they're right next to each other in the Mac showroom. I use 4K because that's what all the video that I stream and makes, and I wouldn't be rushing off to get it. Okay, I rushed off to get 4K monitor because it's double the size of HD, but 5K is huge again. I don't think it's bang for buck. And what about upgrading iMacs? I do kind of a 3-year kind of a cycle. Yours might be 5-year, yours might be 10 years. You might be battling on Victoria Burrowdale with a really old laptop, fans are on, and you're still struggling through. All right, what are we at? Got another 4 minutes. Let's have a look. Thanks so much. Kavitha. Thank you so much, Dan. The first online course I have studied was yours, and my love for learning has grown ever since. Oh, you're really welcome. Thanks for sharing that. Philip, what camera mic setup are you using for this live stream? It's pretty sweet, huh? Microphone is this Rode thing. If you have a look, it's their Rode. It's probably got a name on it, but it looks like that. They don't have many of them, and it's just clipped to that. Sounds real good. And the camera and lens is probably the biggest thing making the difference. This camera is the Sony A7S3, kind of their new video full frame mirrorless thing, and the lens makes it all look real good. It's made by, hold still, oh you're too close Dan, Sigma. It's a Sigma 24-70 2.8, and that's I think what makes it all the difference. Full frame in this, and it runs through the software, so it looks really sweet. Everyone's probably still using this one. That's probably the one you're using, Phil, for live streams. It's good enough. But this thing is pretty sweet because I use it for my main camera as well. All right, Patrick Weglinski. Were you really a rally driver? I'd love to be a rally driver. Nope. I've been a co-driver twice for my brother-in-law in a rally. Okay, he's got a Peugeot 205, and we've been out for that a couple of times. That's awesome, but no, I'm not a rally driver, co-driver. Thanks for being an amazing teacher who constantly gives us encouraging comments. You're welcome. Surish, hello there. I have a question about Upwork website. What do you think about it to do freelancing? Thanks a lot. Upwork is a great place to get started. You're never going to live on Upwork. It's not a long-term plan, but it's a great way to get started, I feel. There's loads of people, I use it as I put lots of jobs up there, and it's often how I find a lot of people because there's reviews from them. I can see their previous work. It's like Amazon. I don't love Amazon, but I love that I get to see reviews and I get to see other people using it and all the photographs, and I like that part of it. Same with Upwork. So getting work on there is all about reviews, previous jobs, and they don't pay enough. They can do, okay, but I think for long-term employment, it's just a way to get stuff in your portfolio, get confident in your skills. Yeah. All right, last question. That one's come up again. That one's come up again. I'll start with a good one. All right, this is a good last question. Stonja. Can I create logos with Photoshop, or it must be Illustrator? You can create logos in anything. It's just really harder in Photoshop. It's not that hard. You can do a lot of vector in Photoshop. If somebody said to me, I have to design my logo in Photoshop, it would be a little bit harder, but the end result, the client wouldn't know any different. It wouldn't print any worse. Okay, it's just not purpose built. It's like, again, using your Porsche or Ferrari to drive to the shops for milk. It works. It's just not really designed for that kind of use. But there's nothing wrong with it. You still get the milk. Yes. All right. That's going to be it. That was a long one. Thanks everybody for hanging around. I appreciate it. That is going to be it. I'm going to hit the button a couple of times. It's going to say that. I'm going to say end broadcast. Thanks everyone. Go check out the podcast. I'd love to see what you think of it. And I'll see you at we've got a podcast. Oh, for those of you still here, haven't clicked off yet, we've got a live stream next week, pretty much the exact same time. We have got a podcast. We are releasing the new Bring Your Own Laptop show. It's about fonts, okay, how to choose fonts. So that comes out basically this time, okay, or the same time this started, next week. Okay, so that will come out, and it will be a premiere. So I'll be there in live chat. Come check it out. There will be a reminder going out in social medias probably later today, okay, in a few hours, Taylor Coman, or yeah, probably then. So I'll see you there for next week. If you don't follow me on social media as well, check me out on Instagram. I'm Bring Your Own Laptop. On Twitter, I am Dan Loves Adobe. Okay. On Facebook, the best one is the Facebook group called Bring Your Own Laptop Online. On what else have we got? We're on TikTok. Bring Your Own Laptop, and there are other ones. Oh, there's our LinkedIn group. Okay, go check it out. Bring Your Own Laptop. There's a LinkedIn group there as well. That's it. I will see you again. Goodbye, everyone. What do we got? Oh, you shouldn't.